Chairman, I make a
I'd like
motion.
to entertain a motion to come out of executive session, please.
So moved.
So moved. I have a motion on the floor by Secretary Red Eagle, seconded by Councilwoman Foreman. Without discussion, call for the question, please.
Councilman Redcorn?
Yes.
Second Chair Red Eagle?
Yes.
Councilman Revard? Chairman Waller?
Yes.
Councilwoman Foreman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Gray? Yes. Motion passes.
Yes, I have an executive session. I'd like to entertain any motion by my council.
I'll make the motion. I make the motion on the concession for LawCo. That we
Yes,
approve, that we approve the concession for LawCo.
The extension of 5 years on the
Yes.
concession.
I was just pulling it up, thank you.
Second.
I'll
Yes.
second.
I have a motion on the floor by Councilwoman Gray, seconded by Second Chair Red Eagle. Open up for discussion, please, on the concession law code. Hearing none, I'd like to entertain the question. Call for the question.
I'm sorry, who seconded that?
You
I
seconded
did. I did. Second chair.
Or, who seconded that one? Was it Myron or me?
I did.
Yes, Second Chair, second. Councilwoman Gray, motion.
Second Chair Red Eagle?
Yes.
Councilman Revard? Chairman Waller?
Yes.
Councilwoman Foreman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Gray?
Yes.
Councilman Redcorn?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Is there any other motions necessary coming out of executive?
Chairman,
Yes, Councilman Redcorn.
I have a motion for
Please, the floor is yours.
seat chair to work with the appropriate attorneys to develop a contract with MI3 to move forward with the next phase of their OEOR opportunity.
Sir, is that your motion?
Yes.
I need a second, please.
I'll second.
I have a second. Motion on the floor by Councilman Redcorn, seconded by Councilwoman Gray. Open for discussion, please.
You repeat it? I couldn't understand what he said.
Yes, Council. Motion repeated, please.
For the chair to work with appropriate attorneys to MI3 EOR opportunities for the next phase of the MI3 EOR opportunity.
I didn't understand that.
For the chairman to work with the appropriate attorneys on the next phase of the MI3 EOR opportunity.
Well, what's that mean? Work with the attorneys on the next phase. I don't know what that means.
If I may, Chair,
Councilman Redcorn.
it's the chairman to work with the appropriate attorneys to develop a contract for MI3 to move forward with the next phase of the OR opportunity.
Would that involve our approval?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's going to come back for our approval.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, and for our constituents, I need the floor for just a second. We will never sign a contract that hasn't been vetted by our Attorney General's office. I have been committed to that and will stay committed on this endeavor. What we will be looking at once Mr. Black and the concerned party vendor calls me, I will see what they have, and then we will take it to our attorneys and then bring it to our council for review. I'd like to call for the question.
My hand was up.
Councilwoman, before we call.
I just wanted to make it clear that I do not support this because I have no idea what's going to be in this contract that they want the Attorney General and attorneys to work on. So I will not be supporting this.
Yes, ma'am. I will take it through the same process that we've taken all the other contracts of attorneys, vendors, etc. But yes, ma'am. Call for the question.
Councilman Revard? Councilman Rivard?
Is that me?
Councilman Rivard?
Yes, thank you. Since the motion's so vague, I don't quite understand it, so I'm gonna vote no. Thank you.
Chairman Waller?
Yes.
Councilwoman Foreman?
No.
Councilwoman Gray?
Yes.
Councilman Redcorn?
Yes.
Second Chair Reddick?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. With that, council, I'd like to go in back to the agenda. I have the old business. I have OMC newsletter. Councilman Redcorn. You have to excuse me. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Chair. One of our staff asked that we move forward with the next, or asked if I can help get the word out to the Mineral Council that we would like to get the next newsletter out there. I've already submitted my article. I don't know if that's been sent out to everybody or not.
Yes, sir, it has.
Okay.
There is a draft and Board book that we were planning on, that we want to send out, that we want to vote to
It
send out.
better be on.
But we want to do it just
Better be.
in a
With our
virtual
branding.
format, like on Facebook, email.
Oh, you just,
We can send out a paper one if that's what you guys want, but we did prepare it just to send out a virtual email to get information to the show.
okay, so there's one prepared for virtual email and you have it. Do we want to send it out now or do we want to wait till everybody has a chance to?
That's up to you guys.
Okay, we've been calling for an article. I just sent mine. Tolly Redcorn sent his in.
I've sent mine.
And Ms. Gray, you sent your.
One from everyone except Councilwoman Harlan right now.
Okay. So I guess the question is, do we want to send it out right now, Chair? Or do we want to wait till Ms. Harlan gets a chance? I'll leave that, but I'm in favor. Let's just send this thing out. Because of, the news that I put in there is starting to become olds. It's been a little bit, so.
There's a draft on Board book it.
There's a they want to do it virtually, email and on Facebook. But if we want a paper,
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman. I want to bring to your attention that Aaron's back in the meeting and he has his hand raised. But with regard to the newsletter, I too sent in an article. We never did discuss when we would have a newsletter go out. It'd be nice if the Mineral Council members would have some participation in these decisions as to when we send the newsletter. But I was happy to throw one together real quick with short notice. But I think if we're going to send it out, I think we need to send out a hard copy so that our headwrite owners can, have access to it. Because a lot of our headwrite owners are not computer savvy, and I think that we should mail. I think we should mail them out. If we're gonna have a newsletter, I think we should mail them. Thank you.
Yes, sir. I've had concerns on both ends sent to the chairman. Some are wanting us not to send it out. They want it by virtual. Of course, we know they're younger groups, but I did have to respond to them that I feel this council needs to send out a hard copy.
Chairman.
I'd like to take a short break.
Chairman, I'll leave it at this. It's whatever the council decides. I was just asked to present it and I just put my article in. I really don't know all the details. I think I'm okay with either hard copy or virtual. And that's as far as I've been involved with this. So thank you.
Chairman, I have
Yes.
my hand up.
Yes, I'd like to go to Lacey real quick. Lacey, do we need a resolution to allow us to kick off the virtual media style?
No, we do not need a resolution to put it virtual because it doesn't spend any money. However, if you decide that you guys want to send it out in print, we will have to make changes because there's an odd number of pages. And, papers have two sides. But my suggestion is if we send it out in print, we not use the entire shareholder list. We just use the people who called in and asked for it, like we did in the past, because I know my whole family's like, why are we wasting money on this? Because we don't want it. So that's just my suggestion.
Do you need the resolution at this moment to go ahead and take care of our newsletter as a virtual?
Not as a virtual.
I would like to direct that we take in. I don't want to have Miss Harlan not be able to provide her information also is the only reason I would vote against it.
Chairman?
Yes, Councilwoman.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad that we all got our articles in. There's a few pictures. It looks pretty basic from what we've done before. I am taking notice that this council spent $40,000 to do the branding, and we voted on it as a collective. This format that is set up outside of our logo, which we did get right this time, but this other seal is the old seal. We've branded this, and so rule 1 in marketing, you keep your brand, that everything matches, I mean, from our letterhead to our business cards to our banners, everything that we have should remain the same. And then we go and we change a complete different layout, which makes no sense to me. I'm like, can't we just keep it the same? That as we started, we branded it. Why would we start changing how our newsletter layout is and change the seal and
That's the same layout as last time.
no, our first one that we had. Our first one before you were here. And we've already paid for it. So that was, to me, that's like money down the drain. I'm all about.
Any other comments?
I'm all
Yes,
about.
yes, Chairman, my hand's been up.
Yes. Councilman,
I would like an
Councilwoman
answer.
Gray, are you finished?
Well, I'll be voting no. If we're not gonna keep our branding, I mean, it just looks like, what are we gonna do? Change it up again next time? It just doesn't look, we worked hard for a year to get through that.
Councilwoman Foreman.
Well, I tend to agree. I do agree with Councilmember Gray. We should keep our branding.
Yeah.
So, my vote would be to, on the hard copy, certainly we have time to go back to that.
Yeah.
But I like the newsletter, as it's written. There's one mistake on page 3 I'd like to point out, and it's funny, we've made this mistake before, and I only remember because it has to do with natural gas. But on the total gas revenue, you've got a comma where a period needs to be on page 3. It's $344 million. And I'm sure that's 0.81 cents. So at least that's how it adds up. So they need to get rid of that comma and put in a dot. And also, since we have still around 5,000 shareholders, we need to send out a hard copy to those that have not requested it be emailed. So I agree with Lacey there.
Okay. Thank you.
That's all I have.
Can I make a comment to Councilwoman Foreman? And she will find this really funny, because when we were sending out, back when we were campaigning, I'd sent out one of my flyers. I just want you to know, last week I got one returned by the U.S. mail 3.5 years later. So if that doesn't tell you how messed up our mailing list is, that ought to tell you right there.
Yeah, I'd forgotten that that's a huge problem, bad addresses.
Yeah.
But hopefully, we can spend years trying to get good ones, so hopefully we clean that up.
Councilman Redcorn.
Oh, I'm done. I think we ought to just put it virtual, and we don't need a resolution.
Thank you. We will be directive to set it up, and then we'll have the council's review. Just as the proofreading today, it will be vital on that also. I'd like to move on down to my next item. under old business.
Chairman Waller.
Yes.
Hey, this is Aaron Lawson. I caught the end of vote when he came out of executive session. Was that for the Lawco concession?
By George, it was.
Okay. I didn't catch all of it. I guess I was still in the holding room, but just wanted to say thank you again for the opportunity to speak to the Mineral Council today, and just ask if there's anything else you guys need from me before I hop off.
No, sir.
Well records.
Well records that you've already said you get, and you provide those anyway. You are one of the first concession areas that delivered all the information to us as soon as you got it. And I'm appreciative of that.
Thank you, Chairman Waller.
Take care of your family. We'll be praying for them.
Will do. Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Foreman, did you want to table the item number 8B?
Yes, because we don't have the Attorney General here, we need to have him. So we'll have to table this to the very next meeting. Invite him immediately so he can put it on his schedule.
Lacey, do I need a motion to table?
The table, yes.
So moved.
Do I make a motion to table this request for the BG to discuss the establishment of oil and gas leases?
I have a motion on the floor by Councilwoman Foreman, seconded by Councilman Redcorn, to table the issue to bring in our AGs of gas, establishing oil and gas laws, etc. Call for the vote, please.
Chairman Waller?
Yes.
Councilwoman Foreman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Gray?
Yes.
Councilman Redcorn?
Yes.
Second Chair Red Eagle?
Yes.
Councilman Rebar?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Chairman, I have a,
Chairman, I have just one comment before we go on to the meeting minutes. Excuse me. On the pipe yard, on the pipe yard, Chairman, we, as you know, we closed out the pipe yard yesterday, and Councilman Rebar was asking about it a while ago, and I told him I would comment on it today, and it is closed out, as you know. The chief was here, and Teddy Sue Whitcraft was here, and Natasha from real estate, and we closed it out yesterday, which was a momentous occasion, I thought. And also with the council's approval, the yard needs to be cleaned up. There's a lot of brush out there. There's some structures there. There's some old tank batteries were on, needs to be taken out, and it more or less just cleaned up. And with the council's approval, we can, I believe we can use the well plugging money to get this task done through procurement. Is that correct?
On delivery of the pipe racks and etc., yes.
Okay.
We cannot do any construction with it, but since they did the purchase, I know maintenance will be available.
Okay. That's all I have, and just like I reiterated a while ago, the pipe racks, half of the pipe racks are in Hominy at the Hominy Airport, and Mr. Lester said he would deliver them as soon as we request that. So after the cleanup's done, we'll bring the pipe stands up here and go from there. Thank you.
Chairman?
Yes, Councilman Rivard.
With regard to expenditures for the pipe yard, I think that Candy would be completely fine with anything that can be related to plugging activities. We could utilize that $3 million fund. She said so multiple times, and we've actually even talked to her about about this specific yard. So if we need to repair a fence, I do know that the property is now going to be owned, or is now owned as of yesterday, in the name of the Osage Nation. I think if we're using it for plugging and storing equipment recovered from the plugging program, I think if it requires a little gravel here, or a little weed eating there, or repair a fence, or maybe put up some solar powered lighting, I think that Candy Thomas would approve that. We could always run it by her in advance, but I think that we can utilize those funds for that purpose. Thank you.
I agree, sir. And I think that in other established areas, we've got to secure what we're protecting. And now we have some angles. Yes, there's going to be some salvage, but we are going to have some pipe there that we're going to have to secure. So that's also going to be the effort. Councilman, second chair, is there anything you'd like to add to that?
That's all. Thank you, Chairman.
Councilwoman Gray?
I'll just pass.
Need to put your hand down.
No, I'm done. I mean, I'm just, doesn't matter.
With that being said, I'd like to move on down. No, Councilwoman Gray, did you have another addition?
No.
I'd like to go to number 9, meeting minutes.
Chairman, I'll make a motion. We approve the meeting minutes.
Second.
I'll second that. I have a motion on the floor by Second Chair Radical, seconded by Chairman Waller. Any discussion? Hearing none, call for the question.
Councilwoman Foreman?
No, there's some corrections that need to be made, so I'm going to vote no now. And
Councilwoman Gray? Councilman Redcorn?
Yes.
Second Chair Radical?
Yes.
Councilman Rebar?
Yes.
Chairman Waller?
Yes,
Motion passes.
I'd like to entertain the motion to adjourn.
I just.
so moved.
I have a motion on the floor by Councilman Redcorn, seconded by Councilwoman Foreman. Call for the question, please.
Councilwoman Gray? Councilman Redcorn?
Yes.
Second Chair Radical?
Yes.
Councilman Rebar?
Yes.
Chairman Waller?
Yes.
Councilwoman Foreman?
Yes, Tolly, you're torturing us.
Chair, if I may,
Yes.
I want to thank Anna for bringing meat pies to the meeting today, and I've got one in my hand.
Oh, thank you.
Can you have that delivered, please?
It's really good, so we
Yeah,
appreciate
thanks a lot.
you doing that for us.
With that, I'll adjourn our meeting and thank you, staff. Thank you for your patience, but also I thank you for your hard work. We have done something that I never saw before up there, and I've been up for a while myself. This COVID has destroyed some of our lives down here, and our people could not need us anymore to work together through our hard days. And that's the other issue I have. I appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Thanks, Jerry.